Hello, friends and family. Dave here. Just want to give you guys a quick update on the market and a little bit of intraday analysis as to what I see in my interpretation of the market with respect to the S&P 500, the Dow, the Nasdaq. We'll look at futures action. So this is my guiding light here. Tech has obviously been the leader since the March 23, 22 low. And what's really drawing my attention is this ending diagonal here that just popped out at me today, and I don't know why I missed it earlier. Perhaps it's not prevalent in the other indexes. But this is scary because this pattern screams termination, and it sort of validates the idea that this is a double top in a classical pattern aspect. So whenever you have this pattern, usually, and I say in my own personal experience, there's a high degree, a high rate of success for this pattern to be fully retraced. That means the Nasdaq would be the Nasdaq 100 E-mini futures in this case would be dropping down to, let's just call it below 8,400. Zooming in, the it's certainly behaving as if this was a legitimate ending diagonal. Let's zoom in a little bit more. And lo and behold, 100%, this is an impulse wave that has unfolded with conviction. The third wave is definitely extended. You can count 5 waves within it. And if I move over to the SPY, which a lot of us track, you can see here from the lows, we have a 3-wave structure. So if this was supposed to be a continuation to the upside, this should not have been a 3-wave structure. We have here a flat actually. So we have a 3-wave rally from the lows, a 3-wave decline, followed by what looks to be an unfolding impulse wave to complete A, B, and C. So that would be somewhere along the lines like so. And I don't know where this is going to terminate, but the Dow has a similar pattern, the DIA. The QQQ actually is weaker in the sense that this is a 3-way structure to the upside, 3-way structure to a new low. So this is a false low, and we're now breaking out higher in wave C. But this whole move is to be considered a sideways correction to this lower decline. Now the ETFs, um, they're not that easy to count. You could say this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Actually, that actually counts perfect. Let me see. Let's go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, and 5. And then that would complete 1 or A to the downside. And then we have 3-wave move up in A, 3-wave move down in B, and then some sort of unfolding C wave that should terminate above this wave A. Not necessarily if it's a running flat, but neither here nor there. What this means is that people who are not into Elliott wave, which is most people, might see this as some sort of, uh, you know, inverse head and shoulders, and they might think that, well, this is going to go higher. But this is, under the lens of Elliott wave, this is suggesting that this breakout higher might fail, uh, might make the inverse head and shoulders fail. So what I would do here, as a day trader that I am, is I would short, not trying to pick a top here because this can go as high as it wants to go. I would trade the failure of this pattern, which means I would go short right at this low. So we want to go below here, invalidating this inverse head and shoulders. And this, and to be honest with you, is it really a inverted head and shoulders when you're looking at a 1 minute chart? You know, that's a very, it's a compelling argument. I think this is a whole lot of noise, but because markets are so volatile lately, I've been in the 1 and 3 minute charts, which is nuts to me. You know, this is like the markets are moving really fast, and I think it pays in a high volatility environment to look at the lower time frames. Just ask anyone who trades Bitcoin. So this is the QQQ. The IWM was really nice because let's go back to the SPY. You see this three-wave structure to the upside. The QQQ, I'm sorry, the IWM actually had a 5-wave structure. Let's look at that over here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it was followed by a very nice flat pattern. You have an initial decline in a new high in B, followed by an impulse wave down in C. And you can even see here, there is a small impulse wave down. It's beautiful. It's textbook. Let's bring this down to the correct degree. And then we're climbing in. Actually, this is wrong. A, B, C, excuse me for that. And then we're moving higher in C. So I actually bought TNA, which is the leverage bull version of the IWM, to the upside, and I actually liquidated the position right here. Okay, why? Because I can count a 5-wave structure. So this could easily be A, B, and C, and now it has gone higher, which leads me to believe that, excuse me for that, that this was a small triangle, potentially, and we should be terminating somewhere here. Let me look at the fib retracements from this entire move from today's high. And it looks like we're chugging away up to the 786% retracement. Let me get rid of the 618. And that's the IWM. The Qs, sideways. Dow Jones, sideways as well. SP 500, same deal. So, the impulse wave might not be so clear. Like, for example, in the IWM, the Russell ETF, this is clearly 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, not an impulse wave. But if you look at the SPY, you can make the case for it because it's a little more stretched. The Dow Jones is in the same boat, and the Qs are definitely, if anything, they're acting the weakest here, which is interesting. So perhaps this is a flight to safety. Who knows? I try to stick to technicals, fundamentals. Chasing fundamentals has gotten me in trouble recently. Netflix. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I think the upside here is perhaps limited. I wouldn't bet against the IWM because it's just been the one that's been beaten down the most. And so like I said, if governors are going to start to open the state slowly but surely, even some halfway measure, I think the market's going to look at that as the comeback of small businesses. Whenever something is beaten down the most, that's usually a thing that bounces back the most as well. As you can see here, that has been the case for the IWM. Even though it's down the most for the year, it has been the one that has been ripping higher on an intraday basis. So I wouldn't bet against this one. What I would bet against is the QQQ, considering that this is a sideways structure, and when you look at the futures, there's an ending diagonal, and I cannot dismiss this. So I think perhaps maybe best case scenario actually for us that have initiated shorts or want to initiate shorts is for an upward rally to partially retrace some of today's very sharp declines. That way we can enter into a position and limit our risk. You know, a new high, that's where my stop would be. So that's it. I'm going to leave it there. This video has gone a little longer than I expected. I hope it helps. Please leave some comments. Give me a call if you're, family or friend. Let's stay safe and healthy.